Following an intense altercation in which Meech accused Ross of wrecking his life, the tension between Lil Meech and Rick Ross has escalated to a breaking point. Insiders claim that the heated argument occurred during a secret meeting intended to settle business disagreements, but things soon became personal. Meech said, "You ruined my life and everything my father built," alluding to the $120 million BMF deal Ross was said to have arranged behind his back. Ross, according to Meech, ruined his reputation and wealth by manipulating contracts and denying him important profits associated with the BMF legacy. The argument has reignited conversations about exploitation, power and loyalty in the hip-hop industry, and to make matters worse, 50 Cent,
He did a lot for everybody, man. Banks, Lamborghinis. I'm over Banks had a Lamborghini, that shit been in the snow, man. Even put it in a garage.
who had earlier warned Meech not to trust Ross, has now come out and stated, "I told him how this would end." Trust destroyed marks the beginning of the BMF empire's most tumultuous period to date. Recently, Lil Meech's situation took a sharp turn for the worst, and things are quickly spiraling out of hand. He was originally positioned as the breakthrough star of the well-liked BMF series, and one of the next major names in entertainment, is seeing what he produced destroyed. Indeed. Look, I do want to produce a BMF movie because you found a lousy low-budget series entertaining. The time for a big-budget film has arrived. Which director? A special thanks to my friend Ferry Gray, Antoine Fuqua, hello. Tarantino? I suppose there are a lot of legends. This is going to be important, I feel it. I'm just talking. I'm just in the center of the storm, Rick Ross. His shrewd moves and pointless tactics may have put Lil Meech's career in ruins before it had even reached its peak. The question that everyone is asking now is simple. How did this occur? How could a young celebrity, who had achieved fame, fortune, and recognition, suddenly be excluded from his best opportunities and have to fight for security? In addition, what factors led 50 Cent to terminate the BMF show? Let's analyze it. At first, everything was going great for Lil Meech. He had a significant part in the BMF series, which rose to prominence as one of the most talked about programs in hip-hop culture. The checks were arriving. His acting career was flourishing, and his future seemed invincible. But when Rick Ross got involved, things started to go wrong. Recently freed from prison, Ross decided to become close to Big Meech, who was known for power struggles and small-time shenanigans behind the scenes. To be clear, neither friendship nor business was involved in this. It was about aiming at his longtime rival 50 Cent and making a scene to exact revenge. The effects were felt right away. Fans and industry insiders were shocked when 50 Cent unexpectedly halted the BMF series. Abruptly, Lil Meech's primary source of income vanished overnight. TV celebrity and multi-million-dollar contracts are gone, as are years of enthusiasm and effort, because Rick Ross decided to use real people's careers as chess pieces in a personal dispute. They didn't want to cause me any anxiety, because it was still my first start. To watch them construct the corporate building with the executives, I went to the stars. One or two executives might have been present, and they were merely watching me to determine whether I was a good fit to join them. Simply glide down with your back to the wall. Ross boasted, "Look, you've been amused by a bad low-budget series, so I do want to do a BMF picture. Now is the moment for a big-budget movie. Which director? I would especially like to thank my friend F. Gary Gray. What's going on, Tarantino? There are numerous legends. This is going to be important. I feel it. I'm just talking, just saying." With that comment, Ross was trying to shift the narrative by promising a blockbuster vision that would surpass the first BMF series, which 50 Cent helped build. On the inside, however, it was a clear-cut attempt to alter the story and take charge of a legacy he did not establish. To really understand how we got here, we need to look back in time. The relationship between 50 Cent and Big Meech began in the early 2000s, when BMF was more than just a moniker. Then there was a full-fledged movement. At the time, Meech was more than simply a street legend. He was a representation of wealth and luxury, thanks to his lavish parties, flashy cars, and seemingly endless financial reserves. His influence extended well beyond the streets. It was a cultural force. 50 Cent was simultaneously breaking down barriers and becoming well known in the music world with his classic album, Get Rich or Die Trying. Little Meech is taken from Detroit and sent to an acting school. I remember when Lil Meech was rapping, and from what I could see, no one was helping him. Hip-hop was being upended by his unmatched storytelling and pure genuineness, and his rise coincided with BMF's supremacy in Atlanta and other places. As 50 himself once said, the crew in the South really had money down there, and they were living life to the fullest. The two worlds eventually collided, and for a time, 50 and Meech were genuinely close. Tony Yo said the bond was sincere. In one case, a young Lil Meech was present when 50 kicked it at Big Meech's residence. It was more than just music or business back then. It was founded on ambition and mutual respect. Nevertheless, those early days of camaraderie would later give rise to one of the most complex and well-known feuds in hip-hop history. Listening to his father tell tales from the past captivated Lil Meech. According to Tony Yo, Big Meech's manner captivated the young celebrity. The man's presence could hardly be denied. His aura was larger than life, and his influence was formidable. But compared to Meech, who was looking for the fast-paced lifestyle, 50 Cent had a completely different perspective when he entered the industry. Fast flips and ostentatious payments weren't his top priorities. He was working on something bigger. Using the business as a chessboard, he was methodically planning actions that would provide money for generations to come and lasting influence. Additionally, that's just where the fundamental contrast between the two guys began to show. Richard Mille gave Meech 10,000 chrome hard jeans. I bought some chrome hard drives for 10,000. I could live for a month wearing those shits, bro. Jeans for $10,000. You know, we were buying red monkeys. What are they? What? $1,000 previously. When I initially started, I thought acting was just reciting lines. I am the type of person who attends school. I'm trying to figure out how to get an A+. One of the most underrated scenes in the story is the one where 50 took Lil Meech's place, a choice that would change the young man's life forever. Let's face it, Lil Meech was trying to make a name for himself as a rapper at the time. No one in the BMF group was really pushing him ahead. His talent was undeveloped. Furthermore, without the right support, it might not have been successful. That's when 50 made the decision to act, because they saw opportunities that others missed. He gave Lil Meech all the tools and training he required to take a totally different route by enrolling him in an acting program. I remember that while he began rapping, nobody was helping him. I had the impression that 50 was the one who believed in him, Yayo said. Lil Meech admitted that the experience altered him. He explained, I thought acting was like school when I first started. I'm the type of, that first investment was profitable. And it showed that some people, like 50, were more interested in creating futures than others, who were content to tell stories about the past. He sort of broke down the boundaries between, the 30 South Country and the Atlanta, you know what I mean. I'm always trying to figure out how to get an A+ without anyone telling me how. It gave Lil Meech the foundation he needed to secure his breakthrough, performance in BMF, and establish a career, independent of his father's legacy. They're having a great time down there. They have a lot of money down there. I'd like to see Atlanta. Tony says 50 Cent was methodical in shaping Lil Meech's future, enrolling him in a demanding acting school to keep the training secret until the right time. And the payoff was evident when BMF eventually hit stars. Lil Meech's breakthrough came at this time. His gift was unquestionable, and his rise was no accident. It was the result of 50 setting him up for success while the spotlight was shining, by laying the groundwork behind the scenes. But 50's involvement did not stop there. He stepped in multiple times over the years to help Lil Meech get past challenges that might have ended his career before it had even started, including being arrested at the airport for a handgun once and being charged with stealing a watch another time. The officials were heard saying, "Okay, this is for your safety and everyone else around you during one of the events. We must verify it since there is a chance that weapons are involved. We can't be sure from the X-ray, and that's what it seems to be, a chance. Don't worry, little one. He doesn't have to offer you anything." Time 50 served as both a mentor and a guardian, helping him navigate the aftermath when things got sticky. There were rumors that Big Meech was starting to worry about the relationship that was growing between his son and 50 as Meech's star power increased. And 50 even implied that Big Meech was involved in the issue in a since-deleted Instagram post, suggesting that Meech was subtly leading his son in the wrong direction rather than in the right one. 50 should have brought Meech a bag and maybe a watch or something else, but tension was quietly building behind the scenes as 50 helped Lil Meech establish a career and stay out of trouble. An extra layer to the complicated relationship. The background for all of this tension is BMF's history, which was the subject of a major federal RICO indictment from Georgia in 2006, marking the first time a group was accused of being both a criminal organization and a legitimate record label. This case would have a lasting impact on how law enforcement handled hip-hop-related groups for years to come, and it still hangs over everything, taking place between Big Meech, Lil Meech, and 50. 50 Cent allegedly tried to warn Lil Meech about the dangers of substance addiction and steer him away from risky behaviors, while Big Meech was doing the exact opposite. Here is my kitchen, complete with stove and refrigerator. Here it is, the Ferrari. For luck, keep the Ferrari. The lion is my Egyptian-style furniture. I like that vintage look. I thought about it. 50 went on. I believe he felt uneasy about my friendship with Meech. Meech tells me that he used to do X, as if it was something amazing. But I'm warning him not to tamper with some things. That moral tension was a serious warning sign. 50's annoyance didn't end there. He told Lil Meech to cut back on his careless spending and concentrate on money management. But Big Meech instead brought up the amount of money he had wasted in the past. It was focused on discipline, stability, and growth, while Big Meech seemed stuck in the past, celebrating the chaos that once defined him. This opposing effect explains a lot of why things eventually fell apart, and the breaking point came when 50 revealed a shocking reality. He had to send Lil Meech to rehab over an apparent substance problem. 50 was praising the fast life rather than teaching his son how to earn permanent wealth. Despite the time, money and effort 50 had invested in building Meech's career and protecting his future, the situation behind the scenes kept getting out of control, and at last 50 decided he had had enough, stopping the flow of money, ending the BMF series, and cutting off Lil Meech completely. The once guaranteed millions disappeared when the investments dried up, and Meech wasn't exactly helping himself. Let's face it, Meech wasn't exactly helping himself. He wasn't just living a comfortable life, he was living a reckless one. Tony Yo even confronted him, pointing out that Meech was wearing expensive Richard Mille watches, of which he had several, starting at around $500,000. His lifestyle had gone into overdrive, with private jet travel, designer clothes, personalized jewelry, and pricey sports cars all commonplace. Combination of unbridled spending, detrimental consequences, and a lack of consideration for those who are genuinely trying to help. In the end, it all contributed to the failure of what could have been one of the most successful industrial revolutions in history. Lil Meech's spending habits reached unconscionable levels, and rather than guaranteeing generational wealth and leaving a legacy outside of BMF, he found himself alone, marginalized and starting over from scratch. Sources claim that he was spending $10,000 on a single pair of Chrome Hearts jeans like it was pocket money. I buy some Chrome Hearts for $10,000. I might wear them for a month. $10,000, buddy. Back in the day, we were buying red monkeys. What were those worth? $1 million? You're just rapping like a drug dealer, correctional officer. It shows you that's the point in our society, that you can relate with you, genuinely being who you say you are. It doesn't matter. The contrast between then and now shows how extreme Meech's spending spree had become, and that was only the beginning. He was constantly showing off his lavish lifestyle on social media, from designer clothes to a home that looked like it belonged in a high-end magazine. So in one clip he boasted, "This is my kitchen right here, displaying pricey appliances. This is the Ferrari. It's for luck. The lion is my Egyptian furniture. I like that vintage look." His home was designed to be a symbol of success and luxury in every way. Meech wasn't just living opulently, he was surrounding himself with them. He was regularly seen mingling with industry heavyweights like Future, Lil Baby, and Gunona, artists who make millions of dollars from a few shows or monthly streaming fees. Actually, their financial situation was completely different. They could afford to waste money without blinking. Not so much Meech. Lil Baby owes you nothing, as Tony Yo pointed out. Maybe 50 should have brought Meech a bag after that. Maybe a watch. The statement reflected a growing sentiment. Meech was trying to compete in a league for which he was not financially prepared. However, there was a crucial difference. 50 Cent always had a strategy. He wasn't just spending money to look good. He was acquiring assets, turning his money into enterprises and accumulating wealth that would surpass his musical career. Each ostentatious acquisition was supported by a strategic decision. They admitted that they were also reckless with their money when Gunit was at his best, spending a lot of money on jewelry, clothing, cars, and other items. And that reality was going to hit Lil Meech harder than ever. Man, you did a lot for everyone. Lamborghinis, Banks. I'm done with Banks. He was sitting in the snowman with a Lamborghini. But the problem is that it lacks the financial plan to be sustained. Without discipline, preparation, or long-term vision, even the largest bags might disappear more quickly than they arrived. Lil Meech was wired differently. Instead of following the example of 50 Cent, who made money from a variety of sources, including businesses, products, touring endorsements, and numerous revenue streams, Meech tried to keep up with rappers who made money from a variety of sources, including businesses, products, and numerous revenue streams. However, Meech simply did not have any revenue, and the unpleasant reality is starting to set in now that the BMF checks have stopped arriving. The garage. The most ridiculous thing is that none of this was surprising. 50 Cent repeatedly warned him to slow down, to stop spending like the money was endless, and to focus on the bigger picture. Meech once referred to the late fashion visionary Virgil Abloh, demonstrating how consumed he was by appearances and image. The luxury lifestyle he displayed on the internet, complete with fancy cars, fashionable clothes, and private jets, is going to become increasingly difficult to sustain. You know, I don't play with Wham picture. Building wealth, not just showing it off, but Meech was too busy boasting to pay attention, and now he's being held accountable. The unchecked spending, the reckless decisions, and the incapacity to adapt have all led to a financial disaster that could have been avoided. This is where Rick Ross enters the picture. Because while Meech's financial choices were hurting his future, Ross was escalating his long-running feud with 50. This rivalry is one of the most intense in contemporary hip-hop, and it started when 50 publicly revealed Ross's past as a correctional officer, which hit Ross's street credibility like a wrecking ball. Here it shows you just how far the culture has shifted, 50 once said, and since then, the two have traded diss tracks, online insults, and deeply personal shots that blurred the line between music and real-life animosity. After all, what you do matters more than who you say you are. And when Rick Ross saw the perfect opportunity to align himself with Big Meech, everyone knew it wasn't about money. And now that the drama surrounding Lil Meech is unfolding in real time, that old rivalry is fueling a brand new chapter. One where financial missteps and personal grudges collide in the messiest way possible. In the process of taking a shot at 50 Cent and scoring points in a long-standing feud, Ross managed to ruin Lil Meech's entire career, which was absurd because 50 Cent saw the play coming and repeatedly warned Lil Meech that this alliance wasn't about support. It was a setup. All of this was about friendship, loyalty, or creating something genuine. The consequences have been severe, with 50 cutting all connections and clearing his hands of the situation, leaving Lil Meech jobless, estranged from one of the most powerful individuals in the industry, and desperately trying to figure out what to do next. The BMF series, the project that made him famous, is officially dead, and he needs to find a new lane quickly before the however. Considering Rick Ross's propensity to stir things up, this could just be the beginning. The question now is whether 50 was right to walk away and cut his losses after everything that has happened, or if Lil Meech made a huge mistake by siding with his father and Ross. If Big Meech continues to get cozy with Ross, the situation could spiral even further, drawing everyone involved into a deeper mess than they ever imagined. Leave a comment below, watch the next video on your screen, and while you're here, click the like, subscribe, and post notifications buttons to make sure you don't miss any of the future wild updates. The game the only way he knows how. You will to be inquisitive about the future. How? You will to be inquisitive about the future.